Hello. Before we start the next topic about limiting beliefs, I would like to give you a brief introduction to the emotions. It's important to know the things for anything you do, really, and for self-understanding. So let's just move on and look at what's the difference between emotions and the feelings. Feelings are the conscious experience of emotions. One feeling like anxiety, love, or frustration can be caused by several emotions, thoughts, memories of life experiences, etc. So let's say the feeling of love can have the emotion of joy and interest. Let's say I'm just kind of playing with it, and memory of your parents loving you, and the thoughts about your values, about like the family probably values, and the what you value in the relationships, and so on. So it's a feeling of love which has a complex of experiences of your life, while emotions is something more connected with the physiology, and they are more narrow and more precise. We will look at them in a moment. And one of the important parts of emotions is that because they are close with the physiology, they are meant to stimulate us for the particular actions, because emotions, they were created much earlier than the human beings. Mammals are capable for their emotions, and they used to stimulate particular behavior as moving closer to the object of the interest, or running away from the object which causes fear, or fighting due to the anger. So it's a particular reactions on the stimulus of the environment. So we say that emotion is the energy in motion. It's energy that is given for us to move. And due to a social conditioning, emotions also often cannot be fully expressed and move us. As I said before, in animals, these emotions, they flow naturally. If the animal is scared, it runs. If the animal is angry, it fights. If the animal is sad, it retrieves to like a cave, or like a secluded environment. If the animal is interested, it moves towards the object, and so on. While in a social society, we often cannot fully express this motion of the energy which is generated by our emotions. And this what creates problem, because unexpressed emotions are main reason of psychological and psychosomatic disorders. That's proved by lots of researches, and you probably felt it by yourself as well. And when we suppress our emotions, it creates all this like shadows and anxiety and depressions and violence and destructive behavior and habits. So it's all basically coping mechanisms, which unexpressed energy, which is sitting inside of us without the way to be expressed and applied to our life. While single emotion, if expressed, lasts not more than 90 seconds. So if you allow the emotion to flow and be expressed, it wouldn't take more than 2 minutes to transform and become something different, rather than keeping it inside for many years and struggling with all sorts of psychological problems. So talking about the emotions, as I said before, they are much more narrow and connected with our physiology. And one of the first scientists who gave a typology of emotions was Carl Izard, and he distinguished 10 basic emotions: interest, astonishment, joy, fear, anger, sadness, shame, guilt, disgust, and contempt. They are called basic because all of these emotions were developed through the evolutionary process, and they can be found in animals. They have the same hormonal and neural influence on the body of all the humans and animals, basically creating this energy to move in a particular direction. And they can be observed in a similar facial and motor expression. It's a lot of research has been done on that. Emotions have particular facial expression to each of them. And they are created to stimulate us to perform particular actions to adapt to the environment. As I said before, run, hide, fight, enjoy, interact, and so on. And let's now move on all these 10 emotions. Why I'm saying that is because when we will work with our inner reality, we will have feelings. Yeah. And feelings are the complex things. And I will invite you to narrow down your feelings to the emotions that create these feelings, because the emotions are this, this point that cracks the diamond. Yeah, if we get to the right emotion and we work with this emotion, all the structure of the feeling will transform. That's why I will invite you again and again and again to ask yourself what emotion is inside this feeling, what emotion is inside the anxiety, what emotion is inside of your desire to control, what emotion is in your irritability, and so on. Yeah. So let's move forward and look at these 10 basic emotions. So enjoyment or joy, the emotion of well-being and openness. And the surprise helps us to reorientate in a new environment or circumstances. So we turn our head, we drop what we've been doing before, and we look at what is going on now. So it's a surprise. Interest, move any exploratory activities and help us to develop and learn. The movement is towards the object of interest. So again, if we consider them objects safe and it motivates us to move closer, this is an experience of the interest. Then comes the fear. Fear is the opposite to interest. It's movement away from the object of real or imaginable danger. Anger is a protective reaction of a fight towards the real or imaginable threat. Sadness arrives as a reaction of loss or separation. It creates inwards movement and stillness in need to reorganize life without the connection with the meaningful object. Again, all the humans and animals have that. So then the next one goes shame, is an overall perception of you as wrong defected, not good enough, humiliated. It involves full body sensation and desire to hide. So it's different from guilt, which is more specific than shame. It arises due to some particular mistake. The thought of the guilty person is directed to the event or persona and a way to fix the relationships. It's important to distinguish shame and guilt, because shame is perceiving yourself as wrong, like overall perception of yourself is wrong. Not good enough, and so on. While guilt is about this particular event which you need to fix, or particular relationships which you feel guilty about. And it's important to see this difference. And then goes disgust is a biological protection from being poisoned, and it creates movement away from the potentially dangerous food or drink. And in a social environment, disgust represents as a contempt. So it's basically moving away for not being contaminated with wrong ideas, and often it includes the feeling of superiority. So as a biological emotion, disgust, it presents in basically all animals. It's life-saving thing, so you don't consume poisoned or rotten food. When animals created a society, this becomes more like contempt. I mean, with animals it's hard to talk because we don't research it much, but with the humans you have this feeling of contempt to the human who is behaving very inappropriate to values, to the values of the society, to a big ideas that creates this world. So yeah, it's about feeling also superior to some group of people, which can be pretty destructive combination, but it is what it is. And we are social beings who have all sort of social interactions. This were the 10 emotions which we will use a lot, and I will ask you to come back again and again and again to ask yourself what emotion you experience at the very given moment. Good if you can save and screenshot maybe this page, so you can look at it whenever it's needed. And then we will move now to the next topic of limiting beliefs, where I will explain how these emotions are helping us to track the limiting beliefs we need to work on. Thank you for listening. If any questions, please let me know, and see you on the next video.